There are powers on Earth too hidden to be seen, and conspiracies too vast to comprehend. For years, the world has seen fact distorted, reality manipulated, and the truth concealed. Join the Pierre Sabak podcast to uncover the real meanings behind ancient aliens and their symbolism.
Hi, this is Pierre Sabak, unlocking the keys to the mysteries. Now, throughout my videos, I often refer to the word Angeliens, and I thought I would try and explain what this terminology means. Now, the term itself is a neologism. In other words, I've invented the word. This is for a number of reasons. I've combined the word angel with alien, and the reason why I've done this is because the terminology Angelien is very truthful in spirit into the original Aramaic definition or classification of an angel. So for example, if we look at the word Angelien, we can see then that this is a direct translation of the Aramaic polymorphic word Zar. Now the word Zar is a stranger, an alien, a visitor. Okay, so an angel is seen as being alien. It's seen as being a stranger, one who is strange. Again, the etymology of Zar within the Hebrew is a cognate of muzar, which is to be strange, to be odd, to be unusual. So angels are viewed as being odd. They've been used unusual or alien. Now, it should be noted then that the Roman and Greek Semitic cultures, they all made a distinction between human-looking angels, which are typically rendered in the Semitic as the cherubim, which are a human angel or a proto-human angel, and then we've got the non-human counterparts, which are the seraphim. Sepher, which is a viper, coming from Sepher, which is fire. They are therefore deemed or connected to be identified with the seraphim or the shining ones. The shining ones are the watchers or serpents or dragons. Now, according to the mystery traditions, both the reptilian and the human angels, they are a separate species, but they work together. They work in unison. So there is this combination between the two traditions. They're a collectivized agency, and both the seraphim and the cherubim, they are commanded under a centralized directive. Now, traditionally, this directive were the Elohim, and again, the terminology of Elohim is related. It means the high ones. Okay, the high ones are those who originate from heaven. But the Elohim is a cognate or is a close cognate of the word Erin, which are the watchers or the shining ones. And the Erin were themselves described within the Apocrypha traditions as looking like vipers. So this would put them into the same class as the seraphim. Now the seraphim are rendered in the Arabic as a jinn. So we see then the terminology of the Elohim, or the Ruach Elohim, the high spirits, can be understood to be a jinn or a seraphim. The shining ones are the watchers. Now the shining ones are the watchers. They work in unison with the cherubim angels, and they appear often together. Now if we look within angelology, the cherubim are beneath the seraphim in terms of the command structure. So the human angels are below the alien looking angels within the command structure. Now this centralized intelligence, as we've said before, is commanded or steered, certainly within the biblical traditions, by Yahweh Sabaoth. The word Yahweh has this connotation of a seraphim, and we will look into that a little later. But the terminology Sabaoth refers to the host, and is a word which has strong military connotations. It also is very much identified with Sevet, which is a crew of a naval vessel. Now, in many respects, we can see then that the seraphim and the cherubim, although they work together and work in collusion, they are seen as being antithetical traditions, and therefore we see then within the occult tradition that there is this strict demarcation, certainly within Hellenistic traditions, between the Pythagorean tradition, Pythagoras, the speaker of the serpent, which would be the seraphic tradition, and then we've got the Euclidean tradition, Kurd in the Arabic is an ape. Euclid, which is to copy or ape. This is a diptych paronomasia on the Semitic or Arabic word to copy or ape. Now, the Euclidean tradition is describes mathematics or sacred geometry, which copies or apes the world. There is this tradition which can be seen to originate from the cherubim angels, from this human sect of angels. So although the angels themselves are seen as working together, they are often antagonistic, and so there are these two traditions which are coming together and coalescing, but are also very distinct and antagonistic. Hence we see that there is this split within the priesthood between the seraphic and human element, and this is important when we look at very obscure occult symbolism pertaining to the angels. Now, the cherubim and the seraphim, they created a hybridized genus, which is a grafted bloodline. Now, they did this through the Adamic species. The Adamic species is the cherubim. The cherubim species themselves were tweaked or changed, and they somehow created this Adamic race, which is a conduit which can reproduce with both the cherubim angels and the seraphim tradition and the seraphim angels. Now, the coming together of both of the human element and the seraphic element is represented as a grafted bloodline. Within the biblical traditions, there is this combination. So the demigods themselves are viewed as this grafted bloodline. Sometimes they are referred to as a stitched or a woven bloodline. Again, this plays into what I refer to as cytological symbolism. So the woven basket within ancient Semitic etymologies is linked in both to a ship or a vessel, because the word basket or receptacle can have this connotation of a ship or a vessel. It is something which is pulled up into heaven, but it's also woven or combined together. And we see then that there is this correspondence between birth in English and birthing or mooring a ship, because there is this idea that the angels, that they planted or seeded life onto the earth. Now, certainly within the religious traditions, this correspondence of seeding or planting earth is very closely grouped together with the neophyte. We've got the neophyte are the newly planted. Neophytus means newly planted. Phuton is a plant. Phot, which is light, because they pertain to the shining ones. The shining ones, again, has this correspondence with the Ben Sira, those who were born of a boat. The Hebrew word Sira, boat, is a diptych paronomasia on the Arabic word Sira, which is Sirius. The shining one, Sirius, the scorching one, the shining one, which pertains to the seraphim. The seraphim are the shining ones, the fiery ones. So as we can see then, there it is actually very complicated, because the grafted bloodline, they represent their genealogy with a family tree. The tree, again, is a symbology of one who has been grafted or cloned. The Greek word klon, which is a twig, has this connotation of a clone or a hybrid. Again, this hybrid in the ancient world were known as the demigods. In the Greek, this would be the hemitheos, a half-god. The hemitheos, again, are closely identified in the Semitic traditions with the Ben Elohim, the sons of the high ones. The sons of the high ones were other names for the Ben Sira, son of a boat. So hence the correspondence between Malach an angel and Malach a king. We see also the relationship in the Greek as well, between Anax, which is a prince, which is a diptych paronomasia, on Anak, which is a giant. The word giant was used in the Semitic traditions to refer to the Nephilim. The Nephilim is coming from Nephil, which is a giant, but has this wordplay or correspondence with Nephil, which is to fall. Again, the fallen ones, or the giants, are related astrologically to Nephilia, which is the star system Orion. Again, in the Bible, the Ben Elohim are often closely correspondent with the Gibberim. The word Gibberim again is closely related to the word Gibor, which is Orion. So this is a human angelic lineage which is deemed to be royal. It's deemed to be combined together, to stitch together, grafted together. It's a mixed progeny in which they are planted or seeded upon the earth and are connected to the sons of light, which the Axori, the brothers of light, is where we get the terminology for the Illuminati. The Illuminati, the sons of light, are again reference to Sirius. And so the Ben Sira, or the Sons of the Boat, goes back into the classical tradition, classis and naval fleet, which is an extension of the scatological tradition. The scatological tradition is the classical representation of the naval or classical tradition, which is this represented by the boat, by lordship, by the ship of state, by religion, religare, more a boat. These are connecting back into angelic vessels, which is the scatological tradition, or the study of angelic vessels, which, as I've identified in my book Holographic Culture, is a classified tradition. Classis also means to break, so therefore it's a compartmentalized tradition. So if you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe, please give me a thumbs up, and please share these videos as well, because this is important information. We need to understand symbolism so that we can be conversant in terms of politics, because occult symbolism is prevalent throughout the political structures, throughout the economical, throughout the financial structures. And this is an open secret. This has been known about for thousands of years, but it has been concealed because we have these inner and outer mysteries, the overt mysteries, which are the parables or the allegories, but there is this hidden knowledge, this hidden understanding. So therefore the word allegory, allosagoria, is other speaking. As we have mentioned before, the other speaking is referring to the others. Again, allos, another, allos or is another or other. This other speaking is referring to the aliens. Again, the word in Greek, we've got allogenes. The allogenes is one who is alien. Again, the connotation in these Greek and Semitic traditions as this angelic or scatological tradition, which is referring to the emissaries who are born of a boat and originate from a boat, the boat being represented by the shield, which in this respect would be a heraldry shield, or represented by the wheel. All of these symbols are used to represent the ophonym, which are in modern language would refer to flying saucers. So please, if you do enjoy my videos, give them a thumbs up, please pass them around, and let's try and make this a better world. Thank you for listening. I look forward to talking to you all again. Thank you. This is Pierre Sabak.